People of YouTube, it's your boy Chucky Mike back with another reaction video. Today we are doing Black Fatigue, why we're tired of ghetto culture. Let's get into it. Let's get these people insights.
It's getting spooky. I just came across something called Black Fatigue, and basically it's white Americans are sick of our shit.
I got news for you. Black Americans are sick of your shit. Black people are sick of black people's shit.
Basically, society is saying that they're tired of how black people are blaming things that have happened to us historically in the past, and they are also now adding different things that they have seen in society to that behavior as well, like loud mouthing or maybe, using certain words or certain behaviors in public.
Black fatigue seems to be growing, especially within the black community. There's a growing frustration within certain behaviors, and more people are starting to speak up about it.
White people, black people, Hispanic people are saying we have black fatigue because of the behavior of some black people.
It's not racist to call black people out for their behavior and what they're doing to society at this moment. I'm glad people are noticing this because it's been so many years and it's finally catching up to y'all.
So, is there some truth to it? Or is it just another form of racism? And how come so many black people are starting to speak up about this now? Either way, we got a lot to talk about today. Now, black fatigue is a growing term in the social media world, a phrase that's meant to explain a rising frustration, dissatisfaction, and even resentment towards a small portion of the black community and some of the dysfunctional behaviors that are increasingly being called out. But here's the thing, this isn't a new term. The phrase black fatigue was originally coined in 2020 by Mary Frances Winters, a black author from New York. She was inspired to explore the concept after hearing the same phrase come up again and again from black millennials. "I'm tired," they kept on saying. The exhaustion wasn't just physical, it ran deep, tied to emotion, history, and identity. In her book, Black Fatigue, How Racism Erodes the Mind, Body, and Spirit, she explains that the original meaning of the term was about the centuries-long toll of the systematic racism passed down through generations. Now that was the original definition, but now the term has taken on a completely new meaning.
Now to Black Fatigue, it has recently been turned into...
So to my knowledge, Black Fatigue is essentially people are tired of pretty much the ghetto black culture that has infiltrated other aspects of just, I guess, American culture. Now you can say white people are saying this, but black people are saying this too. Black fatigue is ghetto hood rat activity being, I guess, I don't want to say integrated, but it's being done, or ghetto activities are being done in areas where it ain't that type of environment. So pretty much they taking the stuff from the hood and they just doing it out in public. They doing it like you seen on the cruises, just doing ghetto ratchet behaviors in public, and it's causing drama and causing everybody else. They tired of that shit, so people are speaking up about it. That's what, to my knowledge,
to a feeling that some white and black people have who say they are damn tired of foolishness of some black people.
It is a completely behavior-based issue. And when white...
I actually agree with that, white lady. It's not so much because you have white people that act like do wild stuff too. I say the only difference between white people and black people is usually white people don't come out in the public doing hood rat type of stuff. Only black people, in my experience, I have seen it. Do white people go get drunk and be wild in public? Yeah, so do black people. But it's talking about ratchet behaviors, shooting each other up outside of clubs, gang banging, all that stuff. I feel like that's reserved for the hood black behavior, and that's the fatigue that people are talking about.
People, black people, Hispanic people are saying we have black fatigue because of the behavior of some black people. We've all seen it. We all know what it is. It's everywhere.
There are thousands of TikToks on it, posts all over X, YouTube videos, and even some mainstream outlets starting to cover it. I only started hearing about this term very recently, and at first I assumed it was mostly coming
I heard about this term maybe 3-4 months ago. I didn't even know it was a thing.
From people outside the black community, but to my surprise, a large portion of the conversation is actually being led by black people, and that's when I knew that I had to do my own research by looking into this and sharing my take on it with you. Many of the most viral TikToks on this topics are coming from within the community itself.
Black fatigue is real. Everybody is tired of black people, but it's two specific types of black people that everyone is tired of. Number one, everybody is tired of loud, ghetto, and ratchet, and violent, and mean, and angry all the time. Everybody is tired of them. Nobody wants to deal with them. Even other black people do not want to deal with these people. You know when you see them in public, you know when they're going to give you attitude at the CVS. Everybody knows it, and they want to avoid it.
So how did we even get here? The answer to this can go in a few different directions. But let's talk about the most impactful factor of this, being the media. We're talking viral body cam footage of police encounters involving black people to dine and dash stories that reinforce negative stereotypes.
So, as far as the police encounters, I do watch some of those police videos before, and you know what the hood will have you believe is that the police are just going around harassing people, but when you actually watch body cam videos, a lot of times, man, it's people out here looking suspicious, doing shady business. They out here like speeding, running stop signs, so the police stop them for breaking like a mini law, and then they catch them doing other things. Now, am I saying there ain't some dirty cops out there that do shady stuff? Sure, but I always thought that, as a dude from the suburbs, I always thought like police had no reason to harass you if you wasn't doing anything. And which in my life experience has been true. People, my friends that are from the hood, they might say that, oh, they just be harassing. But when I think about it, when I see all these videos, like if it wasn't for the videos, I might have be more inclined to believe them. But now when I see some of these police videos, I'm like, well, you wasn't just doing nothing. You was speeding. You was out having a loud party. Y'all was out making a bunch of noise. Y'all was out causing drama. And as a matter of fact, what happens is usually, from the videos I've seen, it's usually like a little minor thing that could be nothing, and then it turns into a bigger thing for no reason. And it's like escalation. And it's like, but it's this typical day in the hood. This ain't nothing new. And they come out and doing this stuff in public, and people is tired of it.
Surveillance cameras caught 3 people leaving without paying a $200 bill for a shrimp and lobster dinner, according to the owners.
Or the countless of fights, whether it's on a street corner or inside a McDonald's. The majority of these clips tend to feature people who, look like me, and they also seem to go viral, often shaping how outsiders view blackness as a whole.
Right.
This type of content has definitely influenced how a lot of people, white, Hispanic, or even black folks, view the culture. Unfortunately, over time, it's helped reinforce harmful narratives, and in many cases has been used to normalize different forms of racism. And let's be clear, we all understand that none of the reactions rooted in these stereotypes are justified, because it's not fair or accurate to take the behavior of a few and apply it to an entire group. However, when certain behaviors are caught on camera and go viral over and over and over again, they unfortunately start to paint an image of the entire community based on a handful of viral clips.
Right, like you ever seen those videos where they'll have like the store owner and he'll be recording in the background and all the customers come in, and they'll they'll film like these interactions with people that just walk in there and take stuff and be dacking all crazy, and like it's very real, man. It's just like a mentality of the hood. And that access is starting to, that hood mentality is starting to get too mainstream to where, like you said, we all know it's a very small amount of people doing it. But viral videos, the world is more about perception. So perception is reality. So when it starts to be broadcast to a bigger audience, it's like, whoa, this is like being too much. Now you can argue that, oh, well, of course they're gonna propaganda against black people, like they causing all the problem. Yeah, you can argue that, but the fact that it happens so often, it's like, you get, sometimes people just gotta feel like, especially when it's starting to affect, if you keep that in the hood, that's cool, that's one thing, it ain't affecting the general public. When you start doing that in the general public amongst quote unquote civilized people, then it starts to become a problem.
Because they reflect us, because obviously, I'm not on that. If you're black, you're probably not on this. At the end of the day, though, all the viral content is based on real situations that happened in the real world. Now let's take a closer look at some of the real world examples that have been fueling these conversations, starting with the dine and dash incidents. Now during the pandemic, or should I say the bandemic, in 2020 when the stimmy checks, the ban started hitting people's accounts and everybody started acting like Black Youngsta when he first signed his record deal. Yes, the pandemic, the bandemic. Your money. We started seeing more of these so-called dine and dash videos pop up.
We've all heard of dining and dashing. That's when a customer comes into a restaurant, grabs a bite to eat, and then skips out on the bill, leaving the restaurant without paying.
For all my international viewers, dine and dash is when people go to a restaurant, stuff their greedy bellies with food, drinks, and all that you can possibly eat, and then they leave and they don't pay a single dime. This phenomenon or crime has always existed, but it became increasingly common in America after the pandemic.
They watched as the party of 7 sat at their table, their food already packaged in to-go boxes. Then they began to get up and eventually run out the restaurant's door, leaving their $200 bill unpaid.
So these clips of large groups walking out without paying began to go viral after 2020. And as it relates to the topic at hand, unfortunately, the majority of the people in those videos were black, and that obviously makes us look very bad.
But you see the demographic, it's mostly like young, like early 20s African Americans, you know, and all of them are what? From the hood generally, man. It's a demographic, it's a small amount, but when it becomes a widely broadcast thing, it starts to make the entire you know, ethnic group look bad. Like I can remember going to where I went to Spain, and they see the like the black culture, black, like it has like a big influence over the world. So like other countries, they take this as this is how black people act. So when they see a black person, I remember I was in Spain, I was walking down the street with my brother and my cousin, and they was like, "Oh, you don't act like Lil Baby." They was like, "Oh, I thought you were gonna talk like Kodak Black." I'm like, "Why the fuck would I talk like that? And nigga's an idiot." You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it has like this being broadcast gets like mainstream attention, and other people in the world that might not interact with black people all the time, they see this and they think all of us are like this. Even other black people that come from other nations where mostly black people and they don't know American black culture. I had a girl one time. She was from like what was she, Jamaica or Trinidad, and she had never interacted with an American black person before. And she was like, "Oh wow, you don't talk like a rapper talks." And I was like, "What makes you think that?" He's like, "Well, that's what they portray black people to us on TV." And I'm just like, "Nah, man, that's like a small group of people, man. We don't all act like that. Not that there's nothing wrong with acting like a rapper per se, but like, yeah, no, we're all not like that." So yeah, this is a big deal when this is like the mainstream, the way they broadcast black people. This could be a problem.
Now, is it all black folks? Of course not, because we're not a monolith. The behavior of one individual doesn't mean the next person is going to show up in the same way, so applying that assumption broadly would be inaccurate. I mean, if you're black, if you're watching this, I'm sure we're probably going to relate, but I would personally never go to a restaurant if I knew that my account was empty. I mean, at that point, we're having sleep for dinner because we're grown, okay? However, with that being said, one thing I've consistently heard from a lot of my friends in the service industry, I'm talking waiters and waitresses and even restaurant managers, is that black customers are the hardest to serve. Now, this has not only been said by all races of people, but I'm saying like other black folks in the service industry are saying this, okay? Whether it's not tipping, sending food back too often, or asking for refunds after they've ate, it's often said that those things are more common among black customers. So that's the perception a lot of people in the service industry have of us, which is very unfortunate and it's very sad. I mean, it's not a comfortable thing to acknowledge or even talk about. I hate the fact that some people might expect a certain type of behavior of people who look like me as soon as, let's say, we might step into a spot, right? And although, you know, the stereotype doesn't obviously apply to all black people like me or you, I can't, if you're black, that is, or if you're white, then obviously I ain't talking about you, right? I can't ignore the experiences they've shared with me.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
Now let's dive into the Dine and Dash stuff a little more. Because speaking of a particular incident, which was one of the news stories I played you earlier, it went viral a few weeks ago. A black-owned restaurant in Chicago called Flav's served 3 people, 2 women and a man, all black, and they decided to run up a tab of over $200 of shrimp and lobster, okay, and a bunch of drinks too. And then they decided to run out the spot.
It's actually disappointing. You know, it's very disappointing to see that from the community that we actually serve, because we pour into our community. We're a small business, and I see this happening so often to a lot of different small businesses throughout the city.
Now, I'm not saying that doing this to other groups of people, regardless of race, is okay.
Yeah, that's like, you know, I know he's probably about to say what I'm about to say. It's like, okay, do I condone any sort of dine and dashing? No. But why would you do it to your own people? Why would you go to a black restaurant, small business of your own people and do that? That don't make no sense. If you feel the need to go dine and dash, why don't you go do it at a corporate establishment or something like that? Why would you do it to somebody who came from the same circumstances as you, the same environment, trying to come from what you came from, and then do it to them and steal from your own people? That don't make no sense to me. That I can, like I said, I don't condone dining and dashing, but if you're gonna do it from an established corporation. Do it from a $1 billion restaurant that got all of these safeties in place to they've already accounted for this in the balance sheet already. Don't do it to a small black business. That don't even make sense. That's fucked up.
Okay, but it's extremely sad that this was black folks doing this to other black folks. The young woman, the waitress who served the table, was a black woman who had kids at home, mind you. Her not getting a percentage of a tip literally means she's not going to be able to survive in this economy. Because in America, tipping isn't optional, it's survival. A lot of servers don't even make minimum wage. Their income depends on those tips. So when you dine and dash, you're not just finessing the system, you're hurting working class people, many of whom are black themselves, just trying to, make it through this world and this economy like the rest of us. By the way, really quickly, if you're enjoying this conversation, drop a like for the algorithm and subscribe if you want to hear from me and you want to see my ugly ass face, okay?
They apologized. They sent someone up here to pay the bill, but I declined to accept it. At that point, it was just like, we're gonna pursue this the right way.
And apparently they sent somebody to pay the tab on their behalf after they got exposed on social media. So you telling me that y'all didn't even have the decency to go in like grown folks and say, I apologize, I'm sorry, this economy is beating my ass. Not that it would make it okay, but you get what I'm saying? Like you didn't even have the decency to actually go in and show your face. That's crazy. They sent another person to pay because they didn't have enough courage to show their faces in the establishment. What a shame. Now, another story that went viral, again, featuring black folks. Absolutely hate the fact that we're getting this type of PR, but it is what it is, right? This story involved 3 black women, once again, in Chicago. Can somebody tell me what's in the water in Chicago with all these incidents happening? The audacity of this particular story is next level because these 3 women didn't only dine and dash after a $262 bill, they were also caught in 4K, strike number 1.
The 3 women from Rochester, New York visited Soul Vibes in the Near North neighborhood to celebrate a birthday and left behind a surprise, an unpaid tab of over $200.
And they also made a reservation with their names, phone numbers, and personal info, strike number 2.
Wait a minute, y'all made a reservation with your names and personal info and then you dine and dash? They must have been drunk or something, because that's just like stealing and then leaving a note behind. Hey, this is my address. This is where to find me. Like what? It's crazy.
They were spotted on surveillance, leaving one by one within 30 seconds of the server stepping away. They also forgot that they signed up on the wait list before being seated, including their name and phone number.
And strike number 3 is that they actually went on social media and they thanked a black-owned business for the free food that they stole, right? And that's how they ended up getting caught.
And to add insult to injury, they posted this onto social media.
Why would you dine and dash and then post it on the internet? Yeah, they had to be drunk out their mind, bro.
The restaurant for the free food while laughing at waitstaff like Chloe Jackson.
You hear a lot of us screaming support black businesses, and this is how we treat each other.
Exactly.
It's so sad, and it's also really hard to ignore that these types of crimes are becoming more and more common.
I wonder how often this actually happens, though, because what I will say in the defense is I don't know that this happens as often as it's made to seem. Does it happen? Yes. Have I dined and dashed? Hell yeah. I remember I dined and dashed when I was what was I, like 19? I did it at Steak and Shake, Steel Yard, Cleveland, Ohio, right? Dine and dash. Me, my friend Joe, and I think I can't remember who else. It might have been my friend Marcellus. We all dined and dashed at Steak and Shake, man. 19 years old. And you know what happened to me the very next day? You know I haven't dined and dashed again since then? I popped the tire on my car. My friend Joe got one of his windows busted out, and I think my friend Sellers got his car broken into. So instant karma the very next day. So I never dined and dashed again after that.
No, and the fact that it's a lot of melanated folks doing this to other people who look like them, I mean, it's a shame. What do you want me to say? I'm not celebrating that I have to make this video. Like, it's actually an uncomfortable video to make because I'm not happy to see black businesses suffering because other people who look like them are literally stealing money from them. Like, I absolutely hate that I have to talk about this, and it breaks my heart. By the way,
all right, man, we'll leave it there, man. That was a good video. If you want to watch the rest, the link, I'll leave a link in the description. I don't what's this dude's channel? I'll tag his channel or put it in the description.
If you've been rocking with,
yeah, Let me see. Oh, actually, here we go. Blackie Speaks. This is in Black Fatigue. So yeah, I only made it through about half of it. I'll let you watch the rest without my commentary. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Chucky Mike, I'll catch you in the next one.